I am really stoked to be chatting with, in my opinion, a bit of an Australian music icon in the making. He's an unreal frontman for one of my favorite bands, as well as a solo vocalist. We're here today to talk about Trophy Eye's latest releases. Please welcome John Floreani.
Yeah.
You guys have put out 3 songs in the last few months. We've got 27 Club, Bittersweet, and the latest Nobody Said. Talk to me about these releases and what they mean to you.
So the 3 releases were kind of Trophy Eyes' way of, I don't know, being able to stay active during a lockdown. They were all written, 2 of them were written in Thailand around 2019, which is like the last time I was like seriously writing for the band. And yeah, we kind of had been sitting on those songs and we worked those songs for a long time. We had no real intention of doing an album or putting anything else out or making it like a body of work. They were just like a handful of songs. And yeah, so we kind of went and recorded them and put them out for a bit of fun, really. And yeah, that's kind of it. It was just for us to kind of stay sane and a little bit of fun during otherwise pretty dismal few years. Yeah,
it has been an incredibly challenging time, that's for sure. And I think that's a lot of reason why people cling to Trophy Eyes songs so much. You know, lyrically, you've never been scared to address some heavy issues. And to me, kind of all 3 tracks feel a little bit like a love child of like Chemical Miracle and The American Dream. You know, they've got that heavier lyrical content, but then they have that more mature, almost dancey kind of sound. Was this intentional? Like, how did they come together in this way?
yeah. I don't think any of the songs were intentional. I think Trophy Eyes' way of writing is more just kind of like playing around with sounds and I hate to say the word, but vibes and different genres and stuff like that. And you kind of just start with like something that's fun or like you know, a turn of phrase that I really like. That's kind of where I start. And I start building off of that, and you know, however the song takes shape is eventually where we kind of land on the sound of it. And it's never really taken into consideration like, oh, this doesn't sound like us, or this sounds like this, or whatever. It's kind of yeah, it is what it is. So it wasn't intentionally like you know, any of our previous releases. Like we didn't really have that intention, or didn't intentionally make them dancey. It was just kind of whatever sounds good. And I think that's kind of Trophy Eyes' motto, is like, if it sounds good, then hell yeah, it's a good song. But yeah, definitely lots of different influences between the 3. I can tell like they are definitely polar opposites on the spectrum of Trophy Eyes' sound.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
really
like
are. They kind of
yeah,
take you on a bit of a journey. And, you know, I think you said there, and I know you said you didn't want to say it, but vibes, but they really do give you each 3 tracks give you a separate vibe for each one of them, but somehow they all kind of go together really nicely. I think for me,
yeah.
they have this really like anthematic feel. When I first heard them all, I could really imagine like screaming them at the top of my lungs at one of your shows. Do you often consider that live aspect when you are writing?
Um, Also, no, not really. Like it does pop in a little bit. Like if we'll be writing and we'll be like, oh, this would be like a really, really good live or whatever. Um, but most of the time, I think we just catch ourselves by surprise and we hear something back, and like that's kind of like you get those magic moments in the studio and everyone just goes, holy shit, it's going to be big on stage. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, everyone will kind of like lose their minds a little bit. And but yeah, I never really write anything to be like, okay, this will be a big moment live. I think mostly what I'm aiming for when I'm writing, what I'm conscious of is moments and feelings. So I want to really portray, you know, like in Nobody Said, it's like desperate and pathetic thematically. It's kind of like a heart-wrenching um realization of being, you know, just a tiny little man and realizing that you're not special in any way. So I really wanted that chorus to kind of be like a heart-wrenching, yearning feeling. So we added some really high synths in there, some like drones and stuff, and it kind of lifts it off and becomes like worshipy, really, like worship music and stuff. And it just has this really, so that's the kind of thing I'm looking for when I'm writing, is like moments and trying to connect the story to the feeling that you're getting, so it kind of like doubles down on that big emotional feel.
Oh my God, I honestly could just listen to you talk about these songs all day. Speaking of the live show, though, I do want to touch on, I know you've had some challenges with rescheduling your mini run that was, I think, was supposed to take place like mid last year, but they're on the cards for the near future. I'm sure everyone's really excited about it. But we are a matter of days away now from you playing Unify Festival, and you're playing Chemical Miracle in full. How are you feeling about that show?
I'm really excited. I'm nervous as well, because the first time we did Chemical Miracle, when it came out, it was probably one of the best shows of my life. So it's kind of like when I realized that we were doing something. So I'm kind of really I'm nervous. I'm nervous that, you know, this one won't live up to the first one that I played. But I realize it's a silly notion. Like, I think they're going to be both fantastic, and I'm just really excited to play those songs again as well. We've got Kevin coming back.
Oh,
On guitar.
really? I
Yeah,
actually
he's
didn't
got
know
back.
that. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole band's back together, and it's just going to be really like emotional experience. And I'm going to Sydney this weekend to practice the album with the guys, and I'm just, after all of this time off, and after all this, like, it's really hard to feel relevant and like you're doing anything. So it's really hard to feel like a band. So I think that this experience is really going to help us kind of come back into the world of live music and help us feel like a band again. So I'm really excited to play. I'm excited to see the guys, and really excited to feel those emotions that I haven't felt for a lot of those songs again live.
I think you touched on it before. You know, the first time that you did the Unify set, it was pretty iconic. That video of the end of Chlorine, where it's just got the entire crowd singing the track back to you, and you can see how emotional you all get. Honestly, to recreate that as a fan and a band, like, I'm really excited about it. And I think that this album means a lot to a lot of people, like myself included. I even have the front cover thing like tattooed on my arm.
Okay.
How is it knowing that you've impacted so many lives by being so raw in your songwriting?
You know, that thought, that idea that we've impacted anybody will only flash in my mind like once every few years. I don't really, it's not how my brain works. But it's incredible when I sometimes I finally afford myself a little bit of like a pat on the back. I'm like, oh, holy shit! Like, you know, that helped a lot of people, and I did a good thing, and it's really special. I'm really happy that I could achieve that in my life, and I'm really happy that anything that I did meant something to somebody. You know, I still have a hard time signing people's shirts where I'm like, I'm gonna devalue your t-shirt right now. You know what I mean? So like, I'm really, it's not often that I think that, but yeah, sometimes when I'm fortunate enough to realize that that album had an impact, it's really rewarding, and it's humbling, and yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
It should be, because I don't know a single soul that doesn't speak highly about not only that album, but like everything that you guys do. So whether or not it's a conscious, constant thought, or it's a fleeting one every now and then, on behalf of everybody, like, thank you for being so raw in what you write about it. I'm sure it's therapeutic for you, and it's therapeutic for us too. Last thing I want to touch on. You have confirmed that 27 Club, Bittersweet, and Nobody Said are not part of an upcoming album. I think we all want to know, though, is there something brewing album-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very happy to finally announce that we're writing our fourth studio album. It's happening I'm writing it right now. Actually, I was writing it before you called. Um, and it's it's special. I think it's it's not it's not even on the same tier as anything I've done before, and I'm constantly surprising myself and shocking myself with kind of the depths of it and the realness of it and the honesty of it, and it's kind of shaping into be quite a beast, and I'm like I'm beginning to be afraid of it. It's like it's getting big, and it's getting more better than I thought I could do, and more intensely personal than I thought it was going to be. So it's I'm really excited about it. Sonically, it's better written than anything I've ever done as well, which is really fun. Sounds really it's just nice to listen to at the same time. So yeah, I'm really proud of this thing. It's really fucking good. I think, but the other singles, you know, they're a lot of fun, and I'm very proud of them as well. That was uh, they're all really fun to write, and there was just some great songs. But they don't really have any kind of uh, connection sonically or lyrically or anything to the next record. Um, yeah, they were just a bit of fun. But this next thing is probably like Trophy Eye's next serious piece of work, and yeah, it's really shaping out to be something. I'm nervous for it. I really hope that I can, um, you know, achieve it to its full potential. But yeah, there's a record coming. It sounds good.
Awesome. I absolutely can't wait to hear it. And, you know, we've seen you grow from these teeny little grungy, hot bar room shows to playing places like the Forum. So I really can't wait to see where this next record and all of these next shows take you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, guys, you can catch Trophy Eyes playing Chemical Miracle in full at Unify Festival. They are playing on the Friday night, and we'll see you there. John, thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Thank you very much.